Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Grape Finance Partnership AMA. I'm Space Games with Dave, and I'm joined by Jason and NB from Up Finance. How are you guys doing tonight?
Good to be here.
Well, it's always good to be here, let's be honest.
Well, I'm always here anyway.
Yeah,
But how
true.
is it to be here? So do you want to...
As a guest, yeah, it's good. I mean, it's a great opportunity, I think, for myself and Jason to talk and present up to the one of the greatest communities that has been around for this past year in DeFi, for sure.
Absolutely. So do you want to introduce people to Up, what it's all about, and where you're at right now?
Yeah, so just to give people a rundown, we're going to give just like the blanket statement of what Up is, and Up revolves around an appreciating stable token. Hence the name Up. The token can only go up and always up and can never go down, according to the math. That's obviously. Sorry, Nick, I had to drop that for you because I am noticing it now. But that's the mathematics behind the actual token, the tokenomics, you could say. And we're building a whole ecosystem, whether it be partnerships, other protocols, doesn't matter what we're doing, we're basing it around this token model because we feel, especially in a bear market as well, this token obviously would be the way to do things because of the tokenomics itself. So that's just like an overall what we're doing with the actual token itself. But just something that's obviously going to make sure you don't lose money. We're not going to promise people, Lamborghinis like most people. We want to build an ecosystem where nobody's losing money. That's essentially what we would like to.
Right. And so how does that work? So you have a pre-sale coming up, and you have some NFTs.
Yeah. So right now we're doing our NFT mint, right? So there's about a day left for the NFT mint. So we wanted to get this out there, and mind you, we haven't announced it yet in our own Discord, in the Up Discord. But I did make an announcement in Grape that Grape actually won day 8 of our 10K giveaway. So we were giving away 1K a day in BUSD to any partners that participated or anybody with a URL to mint the Up tokens, and Grape actually won yesterday. So, speaking on the Grape side, that's awesome, and we're going to do some giveaway with that to our Grape community. So that was pretty cool. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, I was just about to say that is pretty cool. I love it that one of our partners won and not like a random YouTuber, It's great that our community, obviously partnerships, are actually coming through and you can see the actual support and realizing the potential of what we're going to be doing within this entire ecosystem. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So what are the current costs and benefits of minting the NFT and holding the NFT?
So
okay, yeah, go ahead.
I'll just give the rundown of the costs. You can then do it further. So initially, NFTs $200 a pop, but for the obviously communities and people that are using the links, they get a 10% discount, which makes it 180. So essentially, for Grape, the Grape community, they could get in on the NFTs at $180, which is quite cool. I mean, you're saving 10% at first. And this gives you access to the pre-sale, for the actual token itself. It also gives you access to whitelist spots for the projects we're going to be launching on our launch pad one day with our Jakes one day, and all the offerings we're going to be doing. The NFT holders are going to have access to a couple of these things in different ways, but they're also having access to the actual revenue that we're generating through the whole ecosystem, whether it be buys and sells, the volume of the actual token, whether it be future partnerships, whether it be the actual revenue from investments. Help me out here, Nick, if I've left anything out, but essentially
we're just, it's going to get its share of everything the protocol brings in from a revenue standpoint. So like a reward share, you could say. So paid out in the Up tokens. Right. So that's whatever we do and everything that we develop, partnerships and otherwise, is really going to be geared towards mass adoption of the Up token and we're trying to make it so that it's a real currency of transaction. Right? So like it's a currency of the ecosystem, but it's a currency that we really want to drive adoption for utilization and use cases for our partners, because unlike most projects, you can't hurt the protocol by selling it. Right? You can't hurt the protocol by actually using it for transactional purposes. So that's really, our end goal of the up token. So obviously, the initial part of the up protocol, as being the first offering of our up ecosystem, is to like kind of the distribution, right? Get it out there, get it adopted, and then we'll work on coming out with different offerings, services, and things of that nature to really drive the utilization and the adoption up.
Yeah, and what's nice, the way we're doing it, I mean, instead of a normal token that can, inflate and you lose your price, we're driving adoption through a token that, you can't lose your money, which is, I feel, a nice, a different way of doing things than general. And that way people have that peace of mind that not only are they getting into something where they know they can't lose their money, but the potential of the token going up in value is something, and why, hence, they want to get in at the start of the actual whole ecosystem for what we're going to be doing with it in the future.
So that's the benefit of the pre-sale, is it'll never be, unlike other tokens, even major L1 tokens, which obviously haven't gone back to their pre-sale values, most of them. Let's just say that. AVAX pre-sale, 25, 50 cents, something like that during the seed phase. Even though it's dumped quite a bit since the highs, it's well above the pre-sale value. But unlike other DeFi instruments and DeFi offerings, the pre-sale is the lowest you'll ever be able to purchase the up token at. So, and the only way that you can gain access to that is with the NFT. But that's not to dissuade you if you don't feel like the NFT, please do your own research. Like, nobody's trying to push that on anybody. It is a way of, gaining access to the pre-sale price that we will also be increasing. We didn't say this on launch, by 10%. So the pre-sale is going to be 1 BUSD per up token. At launch, when the pre-sale ends, we will inject the backing treasury with 10%, so that everybody can be in profit from their pre-sale, even with the redemption fees.
Yep. So
yeah,
and you can buy up tokens without the NFT. You don't need that. That's just if you want a share of the rewards revenue.
Yeah, in perpetuity, as well. So that's not like it stops. It doesn't end. It's just always, as long as there's revenue to be shared, there will be deposited in the NFT staking contract and emitted out over a rolling period. We're somewhere in the realm of over the month, or over a 4.5 week period of emission. So every time that contract's loaded up, it'll emit the full amount. So you have to have your NFT staked in order to get your share. And for the first 3 months, we are not taking any team allocations. We're going to dedicate all of the protocol fees that are for even, development, marketing, and team pay, are going to be allocated to the NFT stakers for the first 3 months. So you can look at the white paper and see the percent of the allocations that are going there.
But it also allows you to get in to the token itself without,
and no fee, no mint fee on the pre-sale, obviously.
Right. So once it goes live, like, sort of, how does the whole system work so that
like Xgrape goes up? So I mean, I don't know how often Xgrape was spoken of, but it's the same mechanics as Xgrape. Right. Although Xgrape is a little bit more convoluted because it's an LP pair, so the pricing of the LP is a little bit different than traditional token, but it's the same premise, right? You have a backing treasury. It's a little bit easier to calculate up actual price and price increase because it's only backed by one token. It's not backed by, say, Grape Mim pair like Xgrape is. It's, so Xgrape actually rises in value in relation to the LP tokens that you have. Up will rise in value in relation to the BUSD that's in the contract. So the BUSD on a mint. So the examples are you mint 1,000 up tokens, right? There is a 4% mint fee. You get 960 up tokens, but the treasury gets the full 1,000. So if we started off from a 0 token allotment at that price, say at $1, you would have 960 tokens backed by 1,000. So it would be 1,000 BUSD divided by 960. And I'm not a calculator, so I don't know.
Right.
I don't know what that math is.
It's a little different from Xscrape in the fact that since it's only backed by BUSD, you're not going to have a situation where, like Xscrape, where the price drops, right? It's just the amount of BUSD backing the amount of tokens is always increasing.
Exactly. Yeah, and the same thing on a sale. Well, so I mean, technically, like I'm just saying the mechanics. Technically, like Xscrape, the amount of LP backing Xscrape is always increasing because all the transactions always a net positive for the treasury. So the same, but it's a little bit more straightforward because yes, we're only using BUSD. It's the same thing on the sale side. You sell the treasury as a net positive transaction. You have 1,000 up tokens. There's you sell 500, you get $475 worth of BUSD back, but the 500 tokens are burned out of circulation. So now there's a net surplus of 25 BUSD per token in circulation. So
yep.
Price goes up.
Okay, and then I guess we can jump into some of the questions in the question chat. Peter Flea says, just wondering what makes this project any different from the load of valueless NFTs. I hodl and hopium that NFTs will still be a thing in a year or two. Convince me why I need one and why I need to be part of this.
Well,
I don't think we're here to convince anybody to do that, and not to be defeatist, but I think we definitely want you to do your own research and just propose that you take a look and see the value involved in owning this, right? So it's not just a JPEG that you hope is money tomorrow, right? But Jason, go ahead. Sorry, I just wanted to say that we're not trying to make anybody do anything, but we'll give you the value proposition.
I disagree with Nick. We are trying to make somebody doing something, and that's to do your own research. We're not going to come here and convince people. I agree with him on that. At the end of the day, we want people to obviously get into an ecosystem that is founded off a proper actual DeFi, and what we're trying to stand for is an ecosystem that is not going to there to promise you things that they can't actually promise you. We're looking for sustainability and longevity with this project. So at the end of the day, when we tell people this is the plans we've gotten, we've set everything out on the white paper. These are obviously the things that we're going to be doing with the token, within the ecosystem, the partners. There's so much there. If you see value and you've done your own research, that's why you should get into the NFTs. If you don't, or if you don't do the research, I would say don't get into the NFTs. We're not here to actually shill them. At the end of the day, we're trying to create a community and do the education where people need in this space need to realize these super degen plays, these super high APYs, the things that are just not sustainable, have got more and more people so wrecked in this space. This is a change. This is obviously what we're trying to do. We're trying to build an ecosystem with educated people that have done their own research and understand what we're trying to build towards. That way they have an expectation of a team that is trying to build something that's not going to lose their money, that is growing sustainably for the future. So it's not just shill. It's actually to educate people to do their own research and do comparisons with other projects. You're more than welcome. I mean, this is founded by a couple great founders that have got great projects already running. So you can imagine, even though the greatest protocol in the world still had one or two things that they want to change and learn from other things. So we're always developing, always evolving, but at the same time, education is key, and people can't just be getting into stuff because other people are getting into stuff. That's not how it works. We need to actually be doing our own research and making sure we're educating each other and helping each other grow as a community. So yeah, I'm not going to shill it at all. I'm just going to tell people to do their own research. That's what I would say.
Yeah, I mean the value proposition is listed and is written down, but it's obvious. Obviously, we're this is different than some other NFTs. in terms of you buy, I don't know if you buy a blue chip. I don't know that much about NFTs in general, but if you buy a blue chip NFT and you just hope it's worth the same amount of ETH as it is tomorrow, but it doesn't have any use case. It's a picture, right? You're buying NFT art and it's selling for, and you just hope that tomorrow it's worth something, right? In this case, the NFT is an ownership stake in the ecosystem.
Yeah, it's
That's
not
what
about
it
the
is,
JPEG.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, it's the JPEG is fun, and we thought it was cool. It was good looking, and we really liked it. It was the picture itself, the rocket shooting up and spinning and moving is for fun, right? But the actual representation of that NFT is an ownership stake in the ecosystem for reward share, right? We want to reward people, and we hope that everyone can ROI in a decent amount of time.
Agreed.
Okay, and then beautifully asks again. I think we sort of answered this, but it was why invest in you when I can just get X Grape. You kind of covered that. Some of the differences between X Grape and Up.
I mean, you can invest in X. That's the other thing. Yeah, I mean, sure. If you want to invest in Xscape, it's just exposure to a different protocol. That's it. Not here to make you invest in either, right? If you think Xscape is a better opportunity, that's awesome,
Yeah,
right? I'm not going
because
to.
you've done your own research to know that Xscape is a better then obviously the one you've done the most research on and you've done your own research about, whichever one you think has got better for your opportunity wise, then please go into the one you think. And that if that's Xscape, then Xscape is great. Yeah.
Need Raisin says, so the max mint fee tax is 5%, and the max sell fee is also 5%. Both will depend on market conditions.
Correct.
I mean, correct. Yeah. I mean, there'll be days where we'll reduce the redeem fee. There'll be days where we'll reduce the mint fee. There'll be days where, and there'll be times where we reduce them, and it just really depends on what's going on and the circulating supply and things of that nature.
And then that's all we have for questions. But if you want to talk some about possibly, I guess, what in the future, like you talk about the NFT as a ownership stake. So what are some of the things that you can talk about that you have planned down the road?
Yeah, so we have so they'll have ownership stake. They'll get a piece of revenue from the typical kind of DeFi play of investments from the investment treasury, like in war bots, trading bots, just the yield generation investments as well. And that's a separate thing. That's part of part of the fees are broken up in the white paper to tell you where they go. And that's where part of the fees go. They actually go, one of the things are even without buys or sells, we are engineering this to make investments so that we can generate protocol volume of mints and redeems to help the protocol have just consistent volume month in and month out from profits and from revenue from the various streams of revenue that we develop. Other things we'll develop are a conceptual type of DEX that doesn't need to technically incentivize its own liquidity, but will require a launch pad that goes along with that DEX where partners will launch liquidity in the UP token. As I said, we really want this to be a transactional token. So think about having a form of currency that is worth more tomorrow than it is today. I can use it to buy other tokens. I can use it to hold. I can use it to store. We want other protocols to use it as a form of whatever they want to use it for. So we really want to make this a new form of currency within DeFi. That's one of the major points of this. And you can sell it, right? That's the other major point. You can redeem it, you can sell it, you can do whatever you want with it, and it's not going to hurt the protocol.
So back with another question. What's the runway? How long can you last in a longer bear?
We can last forever.
Only go up. It can last for.
Yeah, so I think
right. So
I think sort of
the token itself can't fail.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Now we're all saying obviously.
I'm not on
Go ahead,
the
Dave.
team. Yeah, I'm not on the team, obviously. But so basically, the up token is going to continue to go up based on volume. So if you get to a point where there's no volume for a long time, that backing price, similar to how X Grape has a backing price, isn't going to go up anymore. But it's not going to go down while it's
Yes,
sitting waiting for
it
any
won't go
volume.
down. So it's all so when I say like think about an asset that could be worth more tomorrow than it is today, not necessarily will be, but it won't be worth less. So when you think about it, it doesn't matter when a whale gets in before you or if you're the whale. All that matters is the money that you put in to the backing treasury is always backing the tokens that you have minted. It is not being taken out. It's not being invested. That it can't be accessed. So that's been determined by the contract itself. That will always back the token that's been minted. So even if you're the last person that holds this token, you'll still be able to extract the last amount of value from the treasury, if that makes sense. So it's not like this has a runway, and if you hold it and in 5 years you decide, oh, the project's dead, which we don't intend on being 5 years is a long time in DeFi. But let's just say it, you could still get your money out of the contract if you forgot about it in 10 years, as long as BNB chain doesn't go anywhere, and as long as BUSD is still worth BUSD. Right, so that's the black swan event, is that BUSD fails, which I think DeFi will have much bigger issues if things like USDC, USDT, and like BUSD fail. Right, these are supposedly stable coins that are backed by real assets. I mean, USDT, I don't know if I'd want to make any claims on that one, but I'm not a hater of USDT, but I know that they've been in the limelight in the past. So, but let's just say USDC and BUSD are supposedly, have on their books regulated funds to back per dollar everything that's in circulation. So beyond that failing, there's no runway.
Yeah.
Getting the same money out in 10 years is nice, he says. Yeah, in today's time, absolutely. Need Raisin, can you talk about some other up tokens like up BTC and up ETH? I don't know what those are.
Oh, yeah, sure. So those will be roadmap offerings. So think about it this way. Why hold on to your BTC, your AVAX, your BNB? Why not actually put it into an up contract where people will mint and redeem, and you'll be able to get more? The more people mint, the higher it goes. So the earlier you get in, obviously, the better. It'll be the similar concepts to Xscrape and the actual up token. The fee structure will be much less because we're really we won't be like using them to invest or whatever. And who really wants to loot? Like we want to come out with them as better alternatives to holding AVAX. Say you're a big AVAX maxi, and we come out with an up AVAX. You can put your up AVAX into this contract, and if a lot of people follow suit and are minting and redeeming and doing all that with up AVAX, you just earn more AVAX from just holding this, and it will be backed 1-to-1 by AVAX. Like it's 100% backed by AVAX. So it's the same concept. So up is a BUSD up token, so you could technically call it up BUSD if you wanted to, and we're offering the same versions of those with BTC. Probably start with BTC and then, maybe BNB and ETH and things of that nature. So like ETH would be backed by ETH, BNB backed by BNB.
It's just if you are a long-term holder, it's better to hold it in a contract that's actually getting you more of that token you're holding. So if you want to hodl AVAX, you hodl it in our contract instead of on a centralized exchange. I mean, nobody wants to do that anyway with all the FUD around all these centralized exchanges. Rather hold it in a token contract on the actual blockchain. That's safer than any centralized exchange, because if you put in one AVAX today, a year from now it might be worth 3 or 4 AVAX. Same thing with Bitcoin. You might put in a Bitcoin today, but in a year or two that might be worth 2 or 3 Bitcoin. It doesn't matter about the value behind the actual token that you're putting in. It matters obviously how many people, the volume that is driving towards those, and that's what we want to try and incentivize, where people are obviously using it in a sense of getting more essentially.
Yeah, and we're gearing our offerings to be able to conveniently swap between their offerings as well. So that's probably going to be part of our concept X, if you will, where you can swap between up BTC, up ETH, up BNB seamlessly, right? And drive adoption to those as well. So I mean, you're looking at probably the fees for those being more on the order of an actual DEX swap fee. So if you're looking to invest in, up BTC, it'd be the same as using BUSD to go buy some BTC. So we're not so we're actually looking for them to be long-term, hodls and stuff like that. So just like another investment mechanism to give options.
They want the upgrade. That's what they want in the chat.
That could be a thing too. So that could be a thing. So I mean, I haven't talked to Lord Bacon about it, but it's something that we've been talking about, Jason and I, recently. To be honest, is offering this service to other partner projects, and I am talking to LB about what we can do together. It makes it a little bit harder because AVAX and BNB are not in the same chain, but we do have Grape on BNB already, right? It's already bridgeable. So there are things we can do.
Yep. Peter Flea is asking about contract safety and can you trust the team? You guys got audits planned or anything like that?
Audits are in work, right? Same company that's auditing Vidium or that audited Vidium, Solidity Finance. They have the contract right now. It is the same thing as if you trust Xscrape, you should trust this contract. Let's just say that. And
we got another company doing the audit, the Stamp. Also well known in obviously other spaces, like Solana and stuff like that. So we're doing two audits at the very minute with reputable companies, and people have used them before. So
and this contract is a fork, and this contract is a fork of a contract that's also been audited. So it's based on XUSD, right? Which Xscrape is based on XUSD. So I think and if you try, I mean, I've been involved in Grape since January. Jason has, he's the founder and leader, CEO of Warfi, which has been running very successfully for quite some time in this bear market. I think you can go and check them out, and you can ask their community as well. So like I said, we're really trying to do your own research here, right? I might not have been so in the limelight with Grape, but very much so. I went to SmartCon for Vidium. Going to be very much involved in Vidium. So if you trust what we do here at Grape and Vidium, I trust Jason. I don't know if that helps solve that question.
Yeah.
You have to form your own opinions on your trust level.
I don't know what my trust level is. You can tell me, Dave.
Over 9,000.
It's over 9,000. What's a scale of what? A million or 9,100?
People typing in chat. So revenue will come from taxes until investments are made.
No taxes. It's not called taxes. It's mint and redeem fees. There's going to be there's no transfer tax, and once we have it in LP, there won't be any there won't it's not going to be, it's not a tax token, right? I mean, there's a mint fee and a redeem fee, but you can, once we have it out in the wild, so to speak, you'll be able to transact in it with no taxes. If that makes sense, right? I get the premise and it's semantics, but it is really the cost of it.
The upness of it, the rate at which it goes up will only come from minting and redeeming for BUSD until those other
revenue streams. Yeah. Yeah, because the revenue streams will be used the protocol will take those and mint and schedule redemptions as well, right? So we'll do everything transparently. It doesn't matter if you try to game it, right? If you want to say, I'm going to buy it before the protocol mints and redeems it, by all means do so, right? So if we mint and redeem, we have a really good month with revenue and we're going to mint a bunch and then redeem a bunch over time just to drive that volume. And you think you can game that and you can do it. We would encourage stuff like that. That's totally fine. Wait for the protocol to actually, drive the volume before you take profits. Yeah. So it'll be all from the mint and redemption fees. Redeeming, if you want to think about the curves that increase the price, minting is kind of like a curve that tails off at the top, like a logarithmic curve, right? The higher the supply, the less the minting affects the price. Redeeming is more of like an exponential, like a parabolic curve, because it is cutting the supply as you are redeeming. So it's actually the price impacts are a little bit more from a redemption than they are from a mint.
Good to know. Good to know. Meadwine says meow a bunch. Timeline wise, what are we talking for when pre-sale starts and all that stuff?
We're slated to start the pre-sale tomorrow, but we're waiting on the audits as well. So not to be obvious, we're hoping to get the audits back today, and then be able to stick to the timeline. But we might delay a day or so depending on if they actually do get us the audits by the end of the day. Because the pre-sale is built into the contract. So it's not like other pre-sales where you'll be airdrop the tokens later. The pre-sale is built into the contract. So when we launch the pre-sale, you will get the tokens. The redemptions won't be live, but you'll get the token for the pre-sale without the mint fee.
Very cool. It looks like there's no more questions. I still guess one last call for alcohol on that. And if you guys want to start wrapping up. Mm-hmm. We lost Jason.
We lost Jason? Yeah. We did lose Jason. What happened to Jason? It might be.
Yeah. I think, let me see, no one's typing. So I think we're good. Thanks for popping into the AMA, everybody. And we'll get this recording out for people to listen to later.
Yeah, and just remember, guys, if you are interested in participating in the NFT mint will be over tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern. And use the Grape link.
Link in the announcements a little bit further up.
I put that link in the announcements, but I'll add it to the partner AMA channel. And you can also check out the announcement to get into the app Discord and all that good stuff. So once again, thanks everybody.